Time for What's Hot. We talk about stories that have all of us talking.
And today we're joined by local blogger Rochelle Fritsch, and Jeff Wagner is back with us. All right, police in at least 6 different cities are teaming up after a number of bomb threats have shaken employees at Walmart, Walgreens, and 7-Elevens. Now, the caller demands cash be loaded onto a green dot money pack and says if not, he'll blow up the store. Your thoughts on this one?
Okay, well, this is a huge deal, and I think authorities believe that this is part of a larger thing that's been going on across the country, even though they think you have one person that's targeting a bunch of these smaller stores in southeastern Wisconsin. But, you know, whenever you get one of these calls, obviously both the store and the authorities have to respond, because even though you might think that this is nothing but a scam, you cannot take the chance. And so my message is, once they catch the person or persons responsible for this, and they will, they need to go to prison, and they need to go to prison for a long time. This is not something you fool around with.
And you've echoed everything I was already thinking. The other, you know, there's a monetary part to it too. So what part of, how do we get them to restore the funds lost, both public, so if we're using like police and FBI and SWAT, as well as private dollars? Because if you're shutting a business down, your employees obviously aren't productive. You're losing sales. So if that's part of the equation along with prison time, that's what needs to happen.
Jeff, you're a former federal prosecutor.
Right.
Take me inside the U.S. Attorney's Office. What's the intel that would be going on right now to see who's behind this? And would these cases end up in federal court?
I think quite likely, because what you're looking at is you're looking at an extortion here. This is, now I'm death on bomb threats to begin with, and unfortunately every spring you have schools that get closed,
right.
But typically those are students who are making the calls because they want the day off, and that's bad. But this is an effort to extort for money. My guess is, and again, these are calls that are being made, and without going into too much detail, the FBI, which my understanding is investigating these cases, has an incredible ability to be able to figure out where calls are coming from and then try to identify those sources. My guess is, if they catch the person or persons involved here, this will be something they'll look at federally, and it'll be subject to the sentencing guidelines, because, again, this is a big deal. This is extortion for money, and it violates a whole bunch of federal laws.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Coming up next, we are revealing the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And Brian Goddard will be back with your gorgeous week forecast for more of What's Hot, and it's our viewer's choice of the day. Again,
we're joined by Rochelle Fritsch and perhaps the potato-eating Jeff Wagner. Today's viewer's choice topic: should more be done to help prevent deadly semi-accidents? Nearly 4,000 people each year die from a truck accident, and more than 100,000 people are injured every year. Now, the number of deadly crashes has increased since 2009. What can be done to keep the roads safer?
That's a hard one. That's a hard one for me, simply because I think there's so many factors. I think the knee-jerk reaction is that, you know, truckers need more sleep. We have to make sure their trucks are running in inoperable condition. We can also talk about people who are just driving in cars, being smarter drivers. I think that's only part of the equation. I think the bigger problem is our consumer appetite. We want what we want tomorrow, maybe 2 days from now. You think about your stations like the shopping channel, where, you know, if you buy this magical cream right now, we'll get it to you the day after tomorrow. This is our appetite is driving this. That's, we've got all the transport of these goods that we think we need yesterday, and I really think this drives it. So as far as doing something, can we all do something about our appetite for needing what we need, what we need? I don't know. Okay,
this is on the eve of the Wisconsin State Fair, where you could just spend a lot of time walking through that barn where they sell all the stuff. I actually think it's simpler than that. Because candidly, cars have become safer. We do have all sorts of restrictions now on how long truck drivers can drive and things like that. I think the reality is there is an increasingly large number of not just bad, but dangerously reckless drivers out there. And I think anybody who does any amount of driving on the freeways, you see people weaving in and out. You see people driving 15 and 20 miles over the speed limit. And the truth of the matter is, for example, with trucks, they can't stop like somebody in a small car can. And, you know, you have a lot of people, I think, are playing games on the roadways because they're in such a hurry to get wherever they're going. And then something goes bad, you come across an accident or whatever, and then it becomes a 6-car pileup. I think you know, first of all, we got to look within, and we all need to make a commitment to drive safer.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to our lightning round. Some New York restaurants are making over their choking posters. The artist who makes the posters said she hopes looking at a funny and different choking poster will help you remember a lot more on what to do if someone chokes. Your thoughts on the poster? I had to look at it again.
Yeah, see, this is, okay, my head's going to explode on this one. These are not designed as artwork. They're designed to, in case somebody's in a restaurant and you see somebody choking, this is what you do. You go behind them, it shows people how to do the Heimlich maneuver and things like that. They're not supposed to be artwork. You look at some of these things and you really try to figure out what exactly is it. I mean, I'm sorry, but if the purpose is to try to save lives, make it as simple and as easily understandable as possible, and then, you know, have the painting next to it.
Well, but what about getting their attention? I mean, isn't it all about marketing? If you see this poster, you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, maybe there's some information
well, maybe
that
get
I'll
their
remember.
attention, but I'm with Jeff. Make it simple and easy. 1, 2,
Exactly.
3 step. You cannot be, you know.
You don't have to worry. I know what to do.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So we know.
Okay, so we're going out to eat with you. Okay, no, but I mean, seriously, I mean that's why they have this rule. The restaurants are supposed to have these posters up, so in the event that somebody does choke, you know, somebody else could quickly figure out what that is. It's like I tell you, my plan is I want to take a CPR course. I've never done that because I want to know how to help people if that situation ever occurs.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that.
Total agreement.
All right, good to know. The What's Hot discussion continues online. You can find that page at TMJ.